Hey guys, you got Crunch here. I'm gonna do my picks for the divisional round this week. Uh, so we're down to it's the final four teams on each side. So it's the last four teams in the AFC and the last four teams in the NFC. So the winners of these games this weekend move on to the actual final four. It'll be the conference championship games for each conference. But last week I did pretty good with my picks. I think I got a couple of the spreads wrong. I got the first game wrong. I really thought the Chargers would win that game. Uh, Houston looked pretty good in that game though. So I think besides that game though, I got all the other ones right with my picks. But the Rams were the stunner because when I got home from work and I put that one on, it was 31-9. And I'm like, I knew that these wide receivers in Stafford were just going to be too much for the Vikings to handle. And then I go and I'm looking at all the stats and I'm like, damn, Cup and Puka aren't doing crap, really. So that was surprising. Minnesota kind of just fell off there the last 2 weeks of the season. Strong all year. And then just totally shit the bed the last 2 weeks. But I'm curious to see what happens with Darnold and Flores. So, but the first matchup, so you got two games on Saturday. There's two games on Sunday this week. The first game up, I believe, is Texans at Chiefs, and I'm pretty sure the Chiefs are favored by 8 right now. So today's Friday again, so the games are tomorrow and Sunday. I don't know what to make of the Chiefs, and the only thing I can say is they win. So it doesn't matter how they win, because they've won in some crazy ass ways this year, but they win. So as much as I would actually like to see like a Houston versus Washington Super Bowl, where you got Stroud versus Daniels, I can't put Houston past Kansas City right here. And it sucks because to me, the conference championship game is the other AFC matchup this week, the Ravens and Bills. That's what the conference should have came down to if they got there. But we get that game this week. So Kansas City had a bye last week. Houston came out and they just stunned. Like the Chargers went up 6-0 real quick, two quick field goals, and then they just couldn't get shit done. I think Herbert had 3 interceptions all year, and he had 4 in this game. So that defense showed up. Will that defense show up against Kansas City though? Is the thing. And I was leaning more towards hoping that the Chargers would win that game because I thought if anybody could give the Chiefs, some type of shit, it would have been the Chargers because it's a divisional matchup. But I mean, Houston and Kansas City have been here before. There was that game a couple of years ago where what was it? Houston was up by like 24 points, and then they ended up losing like 51-34 or something like that. But they were up like 24-0, something like that. It was crazy. That was back when they had Watson. But I think with this game, I'm gonna say the Chiefs win. I'm gonna say the Texans cover that 8 points though. I'm gonna say Kansas City. Kansas City gets them by something stupid. It's gonna be something dumb where it's like 28-27. Something where either Houston fucks up in the last seconds or Kansas City gets them in the last seconds. And the way I'm thinking here too is even if Kansas City like legit wins this game where it's not like, oh, crazy shit happened in the final minutes, I still think they at least beat them by 7. So that's why I'm taking Houston to cover. All right, so the second matchup for Saturday is, I believe it's Washington at Detroit, and I'm pretty sure the Lions are favored by 9. I like the Lions. I like Washington. That game with Washington and Tampa Bay last week, like, that was just one of those heartbreaking stunners. But Jaden Daniels was on the winning side. I think Washington's won like 5 games in a row now with something on like the last play of the game. They've won quite a few games like that this year. I just don't see it happening against Detroit. I mean, Detroit, like Montgomery's ready to go now. I just think Detroit's a whole different animal. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Washington. I like the direction they're going in. They've got nothing to be ashamed of this year. Daniels came in, he's the guy. The coach there, he's the guy. Uh, like that team's going to be up and coming. Just throw another couple key pieces in there in the off season, see what they do. But Washington's going to be a team for a little while. So, get ready for Washington. But I just don't see Detroit going home. I'm going to say the Lions win. I'm going to go high. I think the Lions win like 40 to 24. I know Washington's had a lot of close games recently, but like I said, man, Detroit's a whole different animal. So, yeah, I'm going to say Detroit wins, Detroit covers. So the first game Sunday is Rams at Eagles. Pretty sure the Eagles are favored by 6. I like Philly. I like Saquon Barkley. I mean, they beat Green Bay last week, but it was more of like everybody on Green Bay got injured. It's like they went into the game without Watson. Love just needs to learn how to speak up. He lost a bunch of players. A lot of guys got hurt in that game. Saquon did not score a touchdown in that game. He could have. So I know the final score was like 22 to 10 or something. It probably could have been like 27 or 29 to 10. Philly's another tough out. So I like the Rams. And like I said, I like the Rams with the wide receiver combo, and they really didn't do anything. And I don't know who to take in this one. I'm going to say Philly wins. I'd like to see the Rams and the Lions match up, Stafford and Goff, and the winner goes to the Super Bowl. But I think Philly wins. I'm going to say Philly wins 30 to 17. So Philly wins and Philly covers. And the final matchup of the weekend, which is probably basically like a Super Bowl matchup, an AFC championship type matchup. It's the Ravens at the Bills, and the Ravens are actually favored by 2 right now. So, Buffalo's a hard place to play. Both of these teams need to prove that they can get over that hump. Buffalo always gets to that certain point and then they lose. Baltimore always gets to that certain point and they lose. So there's a lot on both sides in this game. And I thought, like, the game last week, the Broncos and the Bills, the Broncos came out firing, man. Knicks dropped that fucking crazy dime to start the game, 7-0 Denver, and I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. And then Buffalo just buried them like 31-0 the rest of the way, which they should have. And Baltimore, who the hell did Baltimore play last week? I can't even remember, but I'm pretty sure Baltimore went to town. They clocked up on whoever they played, the Steelers. Yeah, and that was a divisional game, and they still kicked the shit out of the Steelers. The only crazy thing about that game, though, is Russell Wilson played good. Like, his stats were good. They just didn't. They got nothing out of the run game. Derrick Henry had like 188 yards and 2 touchdowns. You ain't fucking with that. So this is such a tough matchup to pick. I think it's going to be a close game, that 2-point spread. I like Baltimore. I think the addition of Derrick Henry was huge for them. The defense is a little hit or miss, not what we're used to from Raven teams. Buffalo, I didn't know what to make of them. They still have, it's like best man out at wide receiver. Josh Allen's a beast. James Cook has showed up. The defense has actually stepped up. Being a Dolphins fan, this sucks. But I will say this. If there's ever a time for Buffalo to get their fucking asses in the Super Bowl and win one, it's now. Now is the time, because hopefully the Dolphins are coming. So if you're going to get in there and you're going to get it done, it starts now. I'm going to say Buffalo wins this game. I'm going to go 34-31 Bills. So the Bills win and the Bills cover. It could go either way, though. Baltimore could, like, both of these teams need to get over the hump. And the only thing I'm saying is whoever wins this game needs to take out the Chiefs next week and get their fucking asses in the Super Bowl, not Kansas City. I don't mind seeing Lions-Bills, Lions-Ravens, Eagles-Bills, Eagles-Ravens. Shit, I'll watch fucking Washington versus Houston. I don't want to see Kansas City in there again, but it's probably going to be Kansas City. But we'll get to that fucking bridge next week when we got to go across it. So those are my picks for the 2024 NFL divisional round games. Thanks for watching.